everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. And this is the official first episode of 2022. Carter, Jacqueline, how y'all feeling, man? I feel like I ain't seen y'all since last year, man. Where y'all been hiding
at? Hey, we're here. Like, we're ready. I know we took a little bit of time off during the holidays and it felt good. We all needed to relax, reflect, plan for the new year, but I'm feeling good. How are you feeling, Carter?
I'm feeling fantastic. I had a great holiday break. Went back to Chicago. It was cold, so the first drop of snow I left. Had to get back to LA, but I'm happy to get into 2022. It's been a long time coming, and really excited about this year.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna just keep it personal, even though it's the podcast. Like, did you check the bag to see if my shirt's in there, bro? Like, I need that shirt.
I'm gonna check the bag after the episode, bro. And okay. I'm pretty sure for this. First of all, if you bring your own luggage. When you come traveling, this doesn't happen. So I would check, bro. I got you.
All right. So anyway, so what he's referencing is we did a giveaway for Melanin Money. Both he had a giveaway and Ellie Talks Money. Shout out to Ellie Talks Money. I had a giveaway. I got to get good with my blending for the sound effects, guys. Pardon me. That was kind of a hard cutoff for the clap. Yeah. But we had a giveaway. So flew out to LA, Vegas, all that good stuff. And I realized that I needed a smaller bag for the 18-hour trip to Vegas, right? And so I used one of his bags, and now I can't find one of my favorite shirts, and I'm really, really salty about it.
And if I can fit that shirt, bro, it's not here.
So I think it's safe to say that George and Carter are gonna set a goal to be more organized in 2022. Because maybe.
Okay. I mean, I feel like leaving your shirt in somebody else's bag isn't necessarily unorganized, right? It's just like, it's one of those things that happens. But anyways, hope you guys are having a spectacular start to the year. I am in countdown mode. 25 days to fatherhood.
25 days?
25. I mean, or sooner, right? It's one of those things where it's like any day now. Like if he comes on the date, it's 25 days. But if not, today, right? Who knows? So anyways, but that being said, Jacqueline has been extremely diligent with making sure that we're proactive. So 9 times out of 10, we'll get some pre-recorded episodes. If not, they can hold it down without me, right? That's the beautiful thing of having partners on the podcast. So guys, thank you for your grace in the season. If you catch me missing a couple of times, it's because I'm wiping ass and,
oh Lord, we got to keep it clean for you two, okay? But
you're right. I mean, a disclaimer.
I know we're going through like a lot of chit chat, but I really want to know: Are you going with like a Cardi B Offset kind of vibe? Or are you actually going to show your baby? Are you going to hide your baby from the world? Or are we going to see
we'll pull the Drake
pictures of baby action palm?
I think it's like a happy medium, right? It's like, I'm not the person like on the hospital bed. We ain't wiped them off yet. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like little aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite that, but definitely, want to share. I mean, I want to share with my friends and family first offline. And then, at some point, probably within the first month, right?
And then I guess after I asked that, it's like, not to mention your wife is an influencer. So how could she not?
Yeah. I had to fight her on that a little bit. I was like, but that's why I say happy medium, because if it was up to her, you know what I'm saying? He have a little outfit on and, bedside, right? I was like, meet me in the middle. Let my mans get right first. Let them features come in just a little bit.
Right.
So probably right there in the middle, man. We're super excited, man, for this journey. Have an incredible support system. So, one thing I want to encourage all of my new parents is that your kid is an incredible part of your life. It's a beacon, but never lose your identity, right? But what's going to allow my kid to become the person that he wants to become is him seeing me live out the life that I'm supposed to live. So I'm excited to bring him into this world. I'm excited to be his father, but I'm also excited to continue to serve you guys and be a representation of what it looks like to live out your dreams. So with no further ado, guys, let's get into the episode. So what we thought about is, the beginning of the year, everybody's like, end of the year, people are reflective. Beginning of the year, people are like, I got to get it. They ready, whether it's fitness goals, finance goals, money goals, whatever. Everybody's ready to go. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a topic that could really be tactical so that if you want to, jumpstart your 2022, you have something that you can do in the area of, starting or growing a business. But before we dive into that, Carter had a really great suggestion because, he's always really good about making sure you guys get to see the personal side of who we are, because we're really inviting you into these conversations, right? Right now they're virtual, but in 2022, after Omarion variant and, you know, all that stuff subsides, right? We're going to do some in-person stuff, you know, popping up in LA, popping up in Atlanta, popping up in the country, as they call it, in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we think that those experiences will be more enriching if you already feel like you know who we are, right? So one of the things we wanted to do is share one of our major wins, right? That we had in 2021, and you know what we're excited about, and what a goal we have for 2022. So since it was Carter's idea, we'll start with him.
Okay, put me on the spot. Okay. Yeah, man. No, I mean, I just finished my 2021 reflection guide. This is dope. Reflection guide I do every year. I'll see if we can get it in the show notes. But if you Google year compass reflection, you'll be able to find the guide that I use. But it's really intriguing and gets you looking back on your year. So one of my biggest accomplishments, I think overall, that I did last year was starting therapy. And I say that because like I put it off. I said, when I'm 30, I'm going to deal with all this stuff that's been in my closet, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? From relationship issues, parent issues, like, you know, grief, all that, because like it was propelling me forward, but I didn't want it to deter me from becoming the person that I want to be. So I promised myself at like 21 that I would start therapy at 30, and then I actually followed suit. And it's been a really good discovery process of who I am as a man, who I am as a person, and as a business owner. So that was something I was excited to do and actually enjoy it now. So that was probably my biggest accomplishment in 2021, because I did not think I was going to do it. But anyway, now going forward.
Hey, congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a major step. Like, it's a really big hurdle for a lot of people. And I'm really glad that you took that first step.
Yeah, I mean, kudos. I mean, it needs to be normalized, right? We talk about normalizing Black wealth as a pillar of what we do, but we need to normalize Black mental health, Black male mental health in particular, right? So kudos to you, man. I think and to have the self-awareness out of all the things that you accomplished in 2021, to say that was the most important thing, I think is also super dope, because you hit some major milestones in 2021. So for you to pick that says a lot about what's happening in therapy. So kudos.
Right. And I think, you know, that helps me achieve the other milestones, right? Because you get to understand who you are, and, you know, and things like that. So that was big for me. And then going into the new year, man, and this is kind of a Melanin Money thing, like, I really want to have a big event. Like seriously, like, first of all, I was like against it, because like, so me and Ellie did, you know, our event in LA, and like, but day before the event started, I was like, I'm never throwing an event ever again. Like, the planning and all that stuff. The day after it was over, I was like, when is the next one? Because you guys get to touch people and see the light bulb go off in their head. So I really want us to do our Melanin Millionaire event this year, because I know the last that we're going to be able to change is going to be just absolutely awesome.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm super excited about that. Jacqueline, how about you? What about you?
2021 was an exciting year. If you guys didn't catch George and I's story, we met on Instagram in 2020, right? Yeah, it was in 2020. And so, you know, George and I, like, business-wise, we've already gone through a lot of ups and downs, but one of the really great things that we were able to do in 2021 was to launch this podcast for you guys, right? So we went through a lot trying to get Pocket Advisor off the ground, and, you know, trying to share the vision with multiple people, and trying to figure out which ways to take the brand and how to reach more people. And it's really exciting because, you know, I was hopping on here looking at our Apple Podcasts, right? So one of the great things about 2021 and all of us launching ourselves into the digital space and just becoming more prominent, right? And more people seeing our value and getting value from the content that we're creating. You know, I've kind of started to look around at like different podcasts in different kinds of ways, right? Because after you have one, you're like, oh, okay, you kind of know the ins and outs, right?
Right.
All right, this is a long way for me to say, like, we have 47 reviews on Apple Podcasts. Shout out to those of you who have left us a review. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And I think that is a testament to a lot of the work that we did in 2021. And I guess I'm patting myself on the back for that, because it's like, it's so much easier to give up, right? It's so much easier to quit. It's so much easier to say no. It's so much easier to not deal with the hard things, right? Carter said he went to therapy. I started doing therapy again. I've gone through like spurts in my life, but for us to get this off the ground and to have such a wonderful review like this one from Ashley Baruman, she clearly listens, because watch how she wrote her review. She clearly listens. So, hey, Ashley, She said, she gave us a 5-star review and she said, entertaining with plenty of info to utilize. Upbeat, happy, go-getting, inspirational financial crew. I've listened to every episode so far and truly appreciate the information given. It's made a daily impact on how I think about finance, personally and in business. I can't thank y'all enough and look forward to the episodes to come. And then she signed it with her name, Ashley Pittman. So, Ashley, we appreciate you. I know Ashley is listening and she is ready for her giveaway, and for being a loyal listener, for leaving us a review. We want to have a special giveaway for you. So please send us an email at podcast@melaninmoney.com and just remind us that we have selected you from our review. So just listening to that, it just reminds me of like, okay, what we're doing is good. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing it. I can't wait for us to have in-person events as well. So that's one of my like highest check boxes for 2021.
Awesome. And what are you excited about for 2022? Sounds like you're also excited about personal events. I mean, in-person events and things of that nature.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to just grow our reach. I know Carter said it earlier this year when he was talking about his digital products. He was like, you know, people learn differently from different people. So just because somebody can Google some of the information that you're teaching on doesn't mean that they're going to comprehend it from Google, right? Like you can get all the content that you want from Google search, but you need somebody to put context to the content, right? That's why y'all are listening to us right now, because we're able to put context to the content. All right. So I want us to keep growing like that in 2022. And I'm just looking forward to making a bigger impact, honestly.
Awesome. It's gonna be a dope moment when somebody like stops me. It's like, hey man, you on the Melanin Money Show? Like that's what I can't wait to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's gonna happen, guys. And so thank you both for sharing your major milestone for 2021 and 2022. Mine is gonna slightly mirror Jacqueline's on the 2021 side. Obviously on a personal side, you know, becoming a father, I mean, nothing can trump that, right? So that's obviously at the top of the list. But from a community and a platform side, you know, again, the seed of what we're building was put in my heart in 2013, right? 2013. So to see it begin to manifest, and I say begin because we made a transition in the first year. And I think, you know, we're all moving so fast and sometimes we forget, right? It was launched in January, and then, you know, Jacqueline came on board, and then, you know, a few months later, Carter came on board. And then a couple months later, we decided to rebrand everything in the first calendar year. And so like to do all of that, like we're always measuring ourselves from what's next, what we got to do, how far we are behind, what's not streamlined, right? But we're forgetting like, yo, it ain't really been that long. You know what I'm saying? Like we really just got this thing rocking. So having a moment of reflection and gratitude to be able to manifest something and be able to do it in a way that's different than I envisioned, right? I didn't know Jacqueline in 2013. I didn't know Carter in 2013. And so the fact that we're coming together, we're putting our egos aside, and we're trying as business people to continue to figure it out, I think that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment, because like Jacqueline said, we could just, quit. And most times people go into business by themselves, not because it's easier, but because they don't have to show up to anybody. Like you're kind of operating in a silo, but we have to be accountable to each other. We have to share a vision, and we have to do everything we can to serve you guys in a meaningful way. So that is a major, major accomplishment for all of us. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited how everything will transpire. I think we need to have another episode to just forecast what we are doing and what we intend to do in 2022, so that at the end of 2022, we can run it back. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, look, we told y'all, you know what I'm saying? So that's 2021. As far as 2022, I'm just super excited about community, right? I'm super excited about being able to learn and connect with you guys on a more intimate level. So I don't want to steal Carter or Jacqueline's thunder, but I'm really excited about that event, right? That in-person event, because there's going to be smaller events and smaller experiences that lead up to that, right? We know that, right? We're going to have to cultivate real community along the way, so that when we say, hey, look, we came to y'all, now can y'all come to us? That y'all not going to blink, because we added a lot of value. So really excited about that, and really excited about, you know, building, you know, a top 5 financial education network, right? Like we want to be a household name, not because of what it does for our egos, but because we are intentionally super serving people of color when it comes to building wealth. And no one else can say that they're doing it. Now, it might be happening inadvertently on other platforms, but it's in our name. It's in our DNA. right? We said from the get-go, this is who we are. And so we believe that through our efforts, we're going to be able to really catapult to the top of the list. A lot can happen in a year. A lot can happen. A lot can happen in a year. So I'm not putting any limits or any constraints on what that. And speaking of a lot being able to happen in a year, one thing that can happen in a year is you launching a successful online, I was trying to say digital product business, a successful online business that can happen in a year. And so we wanted to share a few thoughts with you on this particular podcast on how you can successfully launch your online business to make 2022 your most successful financial year to date.
Dope. Yeah. So I'll come in because again, this literally happened to me last year. You know what I'm saying? So for the new listeners, I had an accounting firm in 2021, and that's all I had. And then I had friends like George and other people saying like, hey man, like you need to start a digital business as well. Because George had Melanin Money, which is a digital business with the merch. And I was against it at first, but as they say, y'all, one source of income is too close to no sources of income. So I had one business, but I wanted another one. So I launched it, and within a year, that digital business has overcome the revenue from my firm. So I'm literally here to tell y'all that it is possible to happen in a year, and the flexibility and freedom that comes from a digital business versus a service-based business is obscene. So we're going to teach you all ways and strategies on how to create an online business and how to do one for you. And we can't wait to just dive into this topic and give you all some game, because if I can do it, everybody listening can do it as well.
That's a whole fact. So guys, let's get into it. All right. So, one of the things I think is important to set the framework on is like, if you're going to start a digital business from the outset, starting with the end in mind. And when I shared this, I think me and Jacqueline did a podcast on this, probably at this point, 8 months ago under the Uncensored show. But I shared this concept with Carter around a similar time frame, maybe longer, probably at this point, probably over a year ago. And it's this concept called the DARES model, right? So when you're creating a digital business, right, what you want to do is see how many of these boxes can you check, because you don't have to check all of them, but that is going to help you build something that is really going to allow you to have scale and really build that autonomous business that you want to build, right? So it's an acronym. And the first one is it digital? Right? Is it digital? Meaning, do you have to go somewhere and insert a key or use a key fob to open up shop? Or can you open your laptop, and anybody open their laptop for that matter, and be able to buy it directly on the internet? Now, we saw the importance of that in 2020 in particular because of COVID-19, right? If you were a restaurant, you felt that in a major, major way, right? And so having a business where people can literally pull out their credit card, right? And then on their computer, make a transaction. That is the first fundamental part of building a successful online business, right? Is it digital? Do you check that box, right? Not, hey, got to DM me for pricing, or hey, saying, what's your Cash App, right? Can someone, if they never talk to you, can they be able to purchase the item from you, right? Because I think we want to go that extra layer, because technically someone could buy it online, but if you don't have the proper e-commerce system set up, it could still be very manual. Like I always shake my head when I see people and they're like DM for pricing, or what?
Yeah, I mean, and that goes into the second piece. You're referring to the DARES model. Doesn't the A stand for automation?
Yes.
Right. I mean, so that's a part of it, right? Like, can I automatically buy it without having to talk to you? Will it be automatically fulfilled without you having to do any work? I think that's huge. Because a lot of people are digital, but just because you can buy the shirt online, you still got to pick it up, take it to the post office, drop it. You know what I'm saying? So things like that. So you want to be automated as well.
Right. So
I think that's a good point, because with the digital, I was like, okay, we might need to take a step back for a couple of people of okay, what is a digital business, right? And I think one of the easiest ways is to just delineate between your brick and mortar and then your digital, right? So then just asking yourself those questions that Carter was bringing up, okay, so do you have to go ship this shirt? Do you have to pick up this? Do you have to go here? And to the point of automation, like, does somebody have to DM you for pricing? And I feel like it's so crazy, but I've listened to a lot. I've been honestly like studying more of consumer finance and how people think about business and how people think about their money. And so I just found it really interesting that a lot of people didn't know like little tips about automation like that, like DM for pricing. That should not be in anybody's bio. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got to figure out another way.
That's the only reason why, right? Text the word pricing, and then it goes through a situation. But that's another story for another day.
If you have streamlined and you have that automation in place, right, then you really shouldn't need that in your bio. Your bio should have something else better. But anyways, I'm just saying, figuring out like what's digital, because I think you're going to have some people who work like brick and mortar. So for example, I have clients who work in the top cosmetology space, right? So nail artists, hair people, all of that. So how can they shift their business from being brick and mortar where they always do hair to being more online? I'm gonna let y'all answer that.
Well, I'll actually answer that because my sister did that. And so my sister's been doing hair for 10 years. But then I'm like, sis, you work 5-6 days a week. We got to find a way for you to make money out when you're not working. So she was like, all right, well, I think I want to sell wigs. Now she sells $800 wigs and only has to work at her shop 3 to 4 days a week. And she should just stop doing that and sell more wigs. So that's a way for someone to take their brick and mortar business to a digital business. Shout out to Chloe, my sister,
shout out to Chloe. Carter, if you want to support your sister, I would like one of those wigs.
Yo, that's like the greatest like layup ever.
Yeah,
that's an amazing way for you to direct that, because I sit on the consumer end of like, sheesh, like I really want a wig, but I really cannot drop $1,500 on a wig. Like,
hey, the bags women are dropping on these wigs is insane.
Like me and my wife were in turmoil for some months. Let me tell you.
Let's talk about
when she first got on the wig wave, and my wife, she loves, this, Jacqueline, women love variety, right? So Jacqueline, you have beautiful natural hair, you know what I'm saying? But even you, right? You love switch it up. One day it's straight, one day it's curly. But like, so my wife's like, she loves to switch it up. Braids, cool, whatever. And then when she got on this wig wave, and every time I come in the house, I'm like, yo, my guy, like, how many wigs do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not in the budget.
One for every alter ego. Like,
so we had to have a heart to heart. I was like, look, listen, we got to have to cap this thing. You know, so you can't wear but one wig a day. You know what I'm saying? So, and we got to cap this thing off somewhere. So we had a little season where I wasn't feeling the wig. But anyway, so I said to say your sister's in a recession-proof business. Because people, when they feel good about themselves, they want to look good. And when they feel bad about themselves, they want to look good. Mm-hmm. So that's why alcohol and cosmetology are probably the two most indestructible industries. Right? So, okay. But so speaking about automation.
But finding a way to like diversify, right? So now she's got the wigs. Then eventually, I'm sure she'll get to the point where like so many people gonna start asking her, like, "Dang, how you do that? How you get that? What you do?"
Your list, yeah.
I'm trying to get her into the digital, like create your own, how to make a wig thing. Baby steps, but I'm gonna get her there.
Baby steps. Yeah, and she's gonna wish she did it so much sooner by listening to you. And I gotta throw something in here real quick that's super random. And Donald, please do not make this our like out clip for Instagram, because I'm gonna get a lot of flack. But listen, all right, because there's a time for ladies to do everything, all right? And if you're trying to get your money right now, it's not the time for you to be buying wigs. I'm just keeping 100, okay? It's not the time for you to be buying wigs right now. Your time is gonna come, but it's not where you're trying to get your money together. Like, we're talking about what we're going to do in 2022 to make things better. And you're not sitting here talking to a bunch of advisors who are like frugal frannies. Nice. Like, we want you to live your life. We want you to live your best life, but the wig might not be in the equation right now. Okay. I try to put
especially
that
not at $1,500, but
that's a fact.
You're saying, so we got digital, we got automation, and and then where we going?
Yeah, and recurring. Before I touch on that real quick though, so to round it out, just make sure that you have a business that's set up, that you think through all of the logistics on the front end, that it can be done on your behalf. And if it can't all be automated, can it be done more efficiently? Right? Because if it can be done more efficiently, you can still automate it in the sense of inserting a virtual assistant or someone on your behalf, right, who can fulfill that. So always ask yourself, can it be delegated? Can it be automated? And if it can't be delegated, or if it can't be automated, can it be delegated? If it can be delegated, can it be done super efficiently so that anybody can do it? So the automation piece is very important. All right. Now recurring, right? Recurring revenue is my love language. You know what I'm saying? So let's put that on a shirt. Let's put that on a shirt. Recurring revenue is my love language. So the reason why recurring revenue is so powerful is because you acquire a customer one time, and if you nurture them, serve them, provide them what they need consistently. Netflix. I've been a Netflix subscriber since 2010, right? Do the math, right? And even though $7, $8 back then, now
like
it's
15
10,
now,
12,
yeah,
now it's 15. And I was the guy that people got the password, and like, I'm that guy, right? So people had my password. I'm like, yo, how many profiles is on this moment? But anyway, so recurring revenue is amazing, right? So think about it. So for example, we'll be transparent, right? We're building a recurring revenue model with Melanin Millionaires Club. And a lot of people, they kind of frown upon it because it's like you can get so much more money up front charging high ticket, and that has its place. But there are multi-billion dollar businesses built upon the premise of subscription model, right? And so we're excited to be able to be building that for you guys. And the reason why we are comfortable talking about it, because our long-term goal, we have some kinks that we're working out to make sure we provide as much value as possible. But our long-term goal is to provide you so much value that you're like, I'm robbing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am getting over on them. And then it's a win-win, right? We're able to build a successful business, reinvest that money back into making it even better, to the events, to the experiences, to the technology, to the content, and you get to become better financially. So recurring revenue, is it recurring? Can you create something one time and get money from it over and over and over again?
I think that the recurring is really simple, because how can you have a business and only want people to come talk to you one time? Like, only be able to service them in one way? No, like, think about Amazon. Yeah, they sell books online, but what other things they sell? Everything else that you need, right? That's why Walmart became such a strong business and knocked Kmart out and knocked all of these little mom and pop stores out, because they came in and they were like, wow, we can provide this service for you guys, and you're going to come back. Like, you're going to come back for what we have, right? So when I create a new digital product, I don't create just with the thought in mind of having one product for somebody, right? Like, I'm like, okay, how can I service all of the needs that you have, right? So like for Carter, for instance, like, you have your tax courses, but I know you also have, is it your dream business ebook, or is it a course?
Yes, well, I mean, I have books, courses, and master classes. So again, like, if you don't have a recurring model like Netflix, like Hulu, all that stuff, you can have a ladder of ascension where somebody comes by something, but then they eventually go buy something else. They eventually go buy something else. They eventually, because you want that LTV of that customer to be as long and as high as possible.
LTV, for those who don't know, who aren't immersed in the digital marketing space, is lifetime value of a customer, right? And another thing you can do, and not to go off on a tangent, is you can increase your average order value, right? So therefore, if you sell hair care products, right, maybe you should sell a brush. There's probably a slim chance, or pretty big chance, if someone needs a certain kind of hair care product, that they're gonna need a brush, right? So like, think about these complementary products that you can offer as an additional. And in the digital world, that's called an order bump, right? Or an upsell, right? Where someone's coming for one thing, but, oh man, this ain't that bad either. I can get that. Well, shoot. Well, now that you look at it, right?
So now you're speaking my love language, right? Upsell is my love language, all right?
The analogy Carter always likes to use is like, you're gonna come in the funnel, you're gonna take your shoes off, you're gonna get comfortable, stick around for a while. I was dying laughing when I heard that. So recurring.
It's funny though, like, being a business person, when I go somewhere and I don't get upsold, like, I'm almost offended in a sense. Like, you're not going to try to add on no?
Right. If you're not good enough, and I hate the tangents we're going on, but we're having fun with this. George, you remember what happened in Vegas?
Yes.
We get to the Caesar's Palace, real quick, y'all. We get to the Caesar's Palace, room already paid for. And then the lady asked me after, I'm giving her my ID. She said, well, would you like to be upgraded to a premium room? Would you like to keep your basic room? Like, I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, well, how much? She's like, it's only blah, 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 blah to upgrade your room. So of course, my pride is on the line now. So I'll decide to upgrade. And then when I do that, she was like, oh, well, what type of upgrade did you want? Did you want the basic room upgrade? Did you want the upgrade with 2 stories? I'm like, yo, baby, like chill out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like the upsell, I can respect it because as a business owner, like I see it. And like to your point, Jacqueline, if they didn't try to upsell me, I would almost felt remiss, like y'all missed out on an opportunity. And it worked and I knew it was happening. I still upgraded and George's room is still better than mine. Anyway, but let's go.
Yeah, because I was going to upgrade, but then they didn't have the room available I was supposed to get, so they had to upgrade me, and I didn't have to pay. So I had a better room, and I didn't have to pay for it. So favor ain't fair. But Jack,
well, let me tell y'all real quick. Let me slide this in. Let me tell you how a non-upsell landed me $2,500 in my pocket. Okay, so I went to the car dealership to buy a car earlier this year. 2021. Earlier last year. Yeah. I went to go buy a car. I go in, salesperson is terrible. He got to be like 19, 20 years, like just terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm buying and selling my own car. Okay. Nice. So I tell the sales manager, I was like, yeah, your sales crew, like they suck. Like he's trying to do his job. I'm not trying to get him fired. I'm just saying he sucks. Like he should have done da. And sales manager was like, you're right. So then told the other manager. So then the owner was there and the owner brought me in for an hour speaking gig, which my fee was $2,500 for me to tell them like, hey, y'all should be talking about this, selling this, that, this is how you do it. And so for me, just pointing out like, hey, you know, they could have done this differently and probably landed a better sale, better numbers for you guys. And so I came in, did an hour presentation on it. So I got my car and I got an extra, you know, this, that, and the third in my pocket just from calling them out of like, you got to do this. So for those of you who are listening, we're moving into the digital space. You want to start your digital business. Do not overlook order bumps. Do not overlook opportunities to upsell. Okay. So that's like, you know, somebody buys your digital product and then even follow up with like an email that says, hey, you might also need this, right? Or say you've been selling all the hair care products, right? You've been selling all the wigs for 2 years now, but you never sold brushes. Now go back to everybody who bought a wig on your email list and say, hey, we have brushes. Here's a brush. I know it's late, but you still offer it.
Yeah, that's a fact. Carter, you gonna say something?
No, I would just say I love what you do with Melanin Money, right? I recently bought something from the store just because, you know, I wanted something. And then I get an email later, hey, like while we're packaging your order, did you want to add this? They're like, yo, man, like the upsell game is crazy. So guys, you don't have to have a reoccurring model to have reoccurring customers. That's the point we're trying to drive across.
Boom, bag drop. So so to that end, it's like, I would always say is, I think I said on the last podcast with Asia, shout out to Asia, drop shipping queen. It's like, when you think about it, if they haven't bought from you twice, you didn't acquire a customer, right? Because think about it, right? That's just like someone just walking by, like anybody can get you to buy something one time, right? It's like, but if they only bought something from you once, you didn't acquire, because acquire means you own it, right? It's like, it's yours. Meaning I know I'm gonna be able to sell something to you over and over and over again, right? But someone bought something one time and they never come back, either they didn't love it or you didn't have a business model that was forward thinking to be able to make sure you had more additional services to provide them. So make sure that you have ways to continually to add value to community. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Is it evergreen, right? Is it evergreen? And evergreen, for those who are, again, aren't in the digital marketing world, is it always available? Right? Can someone come to your website on Monday, January 2022 and buy the thing? And can they come to it in June, July, August, September and buy it? Right? Now, there are pros, cons to like having launches versus like having a product that's always available. But if you want a business that's super hands off, right? And people can buy from you all the time, right? You might have launches for new products, but an ideal scenario is once that product is launched, you want people to be able to buy it whenever they want to buy it, right? Again, there are definitely pros if y'all want to weigh in on the kind of the pros of like doing launches in closed carts and scarcity and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think having an evergreen model is not the only way, but it is a great way to know that every day you have at least the opportunity to make money, right? You at least have the opportunity to make money if you have an evergreen product. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I love it, right? Because I want people to be able to buy from me Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, 8 days a week, twice a day if possible. You know what I'm saying? So I think having an evergreen model is great. Again, is it always available? Can they buy while you're sleeping, right? Can they buy while you're awake? Can they buy any day of the week? So I think an evergreen model is great because who doesn't like making money every single day?
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
I think a good example of an evergreen model was we don't have kids yet, but you guys remember Elf on the Shelf, right? So we
Mhm.
getting past the holidays. So Elf on the Shelf, and it would come with like a letter, like a letter from the elf. Are y'all familiar with that?
Kind of so.
I didn't know it came with a letter, but yeah,
I
go
didn't know it
ahead.
came with a letter either, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that
so
Christmas, yeah, super Christmas.
yeah, okay. So I may be mixing up business models. Anyways, she was on Shark Tank. Okay. I'm pretty sure it was the same thing. But y'all leave us a 5-star review and tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. So she would write a letter, right? It's from the elf. I'm looking at you, blah, 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 right? So the issue she had was Christmas is one time of year during these couple months, right? So how do you make your business evergreen if you're only dealing with Christmas? So then she started adding in letters for other holidays, right? So there's one for Valentine's Day. There's one for March. It's like, the little leprechaun. There's one for the Easter bunny, right? So then she added in all of these other opportunities to make her business more evergreen. So if you have a seasonal business, there may be some way for you to pivot to make it, maybe it's just your marketing, right? Like maybe you just start marketing it for another holiday. But if you have a seasonal product, you can try to make it evergreen and something that people want throughout the year by making small pivots.
Facts.
Great point.
Facts.
Great point.
Love that. And the last point of the DARES model, and I'll recap before we touch on the last point. So is it digital, right? Is it automated? Is it recurring? Is it evergreen? And last but not least, is it scalable? Is it scalable, right? Because that's what we all want. Scale. Scale. Like people, I feel like it's a buzzword of the century. Scale. I want to scale. I want to scale. Right?
You know why scaling is so important?
Why?
I know this is going around a lot, and it's because everyone who talks about leaving their 9 to 5, you don't leave your 9 to 5 to work 24/7. And if your business isn't scalable, you may get stuck working 24/7, or you may not be making the money that you leave your 9 to 5 to make.
Right. You end up creating a cage for yourself, right? And again, entrepreneurial trauma will tell you that, oh, well, I'll sleep when and I always tease Dave about this because I know he had this brand for a long time, and Dave is super successful and has scalable stuff. I'm like, hey, bro, it's time to rebrand, bro.
Now sleep for suckers.
Bro. I always tease him, but no, shout out to Shans, the podcast GOAT. But yeah, shout out to Carter. Just had a recent episode that did really, really well. People reached out to me actually about it. So kudos to you on the great episode. But yes, is it scalable, right? So and all scalable means, to break it down, not in technical business acumen terms, but what you do on this level, right? When you're just getting started out, can you do it successfully and infinitely on this level, right? Okay, because what people don't realize is they say, oh, my business is working, and you can break your business by not putting the right infrastructure in place. So here's a good analogy for you, right? Let's say you have a beautiful 1-story house and you love it, right? But the foundation is only designed for a 1-story house. But then you're like, you know what, man, I got to add the sunroom. Let's go ahead and add a second floor. Let's add like a basement. And then the foundation collapses because the foundation was only designed for a 1-story house, right? So when you think about your business, it's the same way. Do you have the foundation and infrastructure that's going to allow you to scale? So I'll put myself out there on the e-commerce side, right? So like, when you're selling 20, 30 shirts a month, or, it's cool, right? Anybody can do that. But then when it turns into 20, 30 shirts a day, and then 100 shirts, then do you have the system, processes, and infrastructure to be able to do that at scale? I didn't. And it was painful. It was very and so you have to make sure that you have that stuff in place. And so you can, get a coach, you can get a consultant, you can do your research. But if your business is starting to trend upwards, right, make sure that before you because everybody thinks they want the rain, right? And what I always like to say is, the one worst thing than not having enough customers is getting too many of them and not being able to deliver on the promise that you said, right? So make sure that you set up a business that you understand at scale, that you can still provide that value, right? And those are things, again, to give us all a little bit of grace. We're all like, on some level, any entrepreneur, you're like going down uncharted territory. You're jumping off the building and building the wings on the way down. So by no means am I saying the founders of Melanin Money have it all figured out. I'm not saying all of our
peers. But we have tripped over a lot of stones that they don't have to trip over if they join the Millionaire Club. Shout out to the Millionaire Club. Link in the bio, link in the show notes. But again, it's uncharted territory. But if you can find somebody that's charted them, So you might want to get their advice, King. Queen,
Right,
you know
at least if they've gotten 7 steps ahead of you, right? And then that's going to be a little smoother path. So yeah, make sure that it's scalable, right? Because to Jacqueline's point, we're in this to make some money, right? Some money and have some time freedom, right? Yeah. Scalability, in my opinion, is 1 part money and 2 parts of having a business that you own but don't run.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you have to be in the thick of everything, right? You don't have you have a business, but you're self-employed.
Yep. Glorified job.
Right. Several jobs, underpaid, actually underpaid
and overworked.
If you do the math on it, right? And so like just make sure that it's scalable, so that you can build something that number one day you could sell it. You can have time freedom if you want to sell it. You have time freedom, and you can actually make substantial revenue, because sometimes margins on one level you won't make a lot of money, but at scale, right? Let's say if you're getting a penny of 1 million transactions or 2 million transactions, it can make sense. So that's where scale comes in handy too. But you have to have the infrastructure, the cash flow, the capital reserves. And that's what I mean. Your business can break if you're not ready, because if you might want to scale, but to get those 100 transactions or 1 million transactions, you might have to have inventory. You might have to have a lot more staff. You might have that customer service. And that money is not going to necessarily be coming out on the front end, right? In terms of like your revenue. So you have to have the capital reserves to stand that up before the money comes in. So that's the DARES model when it comes to building a digital business. And we want to make sure that you start there. I know we kind of monopolized the episode to really talk about that. Well, that is the cornerstone of how you need to think about starting a digital business.
Yeah. And another point on scalability, and this is a question that changed my life. And my mentor told me this, shout out to Neo. He said, he asked us the question, what can I create one time that will pay me forever? Right. The first time I heard him say that, I couldn't think about nothing else the rest of the day. Like, what can I, no, seriously, like, what can I create one time at age 29 that will pay me until I'm 69, right? So it'll pay me forever. So like, that's why I love like the digital product space, because you create it one time. If you have 1,000 customers, they could buy 1,000 of it. If you got 1 million customers, they could buy 1 million. Your process doesn't change based on deliverability if you have the automation set up. But like, what can I create one time that will pay me forever? Like this, the shirt I'm rocking, this Black billionaire in the making. This will be still in fad 10, 20, 30 years. You created this one time. You know what I'm saying? But it can pay you forever. So that's the question I want all of you to ponder. What can you create one time that's going to pay you forever?
Amazing. Let's get tactical, right? Let's share with the time that we have left. Let's dive into systems, right? Things that they can use for a variety of digital businesses, right? So maybe we'll just go round robin, just different tools and that have been helpful for you guys in building digital businesses. So I'll start. If you offer or sell anything, people aren't going to just like buy, immediately, right? You have to take them through a sales process, right? And if you're doing it online, it's not a brick and mortar. You don't have a sales agent saying, hey, can I help you? Do you like this? You have to basically translate that online. The way you do that is with a landing page, right? Or a sales funnel. So one of the more prominent ones in the industry is ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is a software that allows you to create your own custom landing pages where you can do anything from getting people to opt in to like a email list so that you can nurture them forever, or you can literally get them to opt into a sales funnel to buy something from that landing page. And the reason why I'm using the terminology landing page and sales funnel is because you're going to need that more than you're going to need a website, right? Now, at this point in the game, websites are more about brand, right? Yeah. It's more about brand. Like, for example, we have a Melanin Money website, but when we sell you something, we have funnels. Those pages are integrated with our website, right? And most of the links that you'll find in our bios, those are landing pages and funnels. The website is about the brand, and it's about how to just kind of aggregate everything in one place, right? If you want to know about Melanin Money, you want to hear the podcast, you want to do this, that's what the website's for. But when it comes to selling, you need a landing page and you need a sales funnel. So that's one tool I'll throw out.
Just giving them all the sauce, all the game, all the secret.
Why not? If we can't give it away, that means we don't know enough, right?
Facts.
Well, now y'all know. Now y'all know how we bring you in.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And just because we're doing it doesn't mean that you can't do it. I think one of the biggest hurdles is just limiting beliefs. You don't think that your business or product is big enough for a sales funnel, for a ClickFunnels. And I want you to think bigger because you are, and they are very powerful tools. I love the analogy where you were saying, George, like you don't have a salesperson who walks you in because somebody finds you online, right? So what is that process of that salesperson, i.e. you, your website, your sales funnel, walking them through that introductory into a store? Think about it, especially ladies, you walk into the store, you're like, okay, I'm waiting for you to greet me. Okay, greet me. Cool. All right, now see what I need, right? So you have to figure out how to do that on your landing page.
Correct. So Jacqueline, give them a tool. What's something you love in the process of building on your online presence and your online business?
You know what's really sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Texting.
Texting?
Yeah.
Hey, I know. I peeped that. I peeped yo. I see what you do with your Twitter profile. You getting them phone numbers, Queen. I see it.
Hey, y'all hit me up. Hit up, girl. Okay.
Give me a call. Give me a call. Yeah.
The texting is just a really easy way to keep people engaged. 93% of text messages are open within 3 minutes.
That's a fact.
Versus what is I don't even know what the numbers for emails are. It's like what?
20%. You lucky.
Yeah, 20. You got a strong email list if you got 20%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like under 20% for like 48 hours or something like that. So texting is an amazing tool, and I would encourage you guys to use it in your business. Community is just an easy way to get started. What are you gonna say, George?
Yeah. I was gonna say, and I can vouch that her statistic was a 100% accurate because I literally ironically saw it the other day. Is 93% of the text messages are sent are open. So you got somebody who knows what she's talking about. Because I was gonna call her out if it was all.
Because think about it, like if you want people to be connected with you, what's the best way to connect with them? And for people who don't want to connect with you, I mean, they can easily just say stop.
Yep. Yeah. Carter, what you got for us?
How many times somebody asks you, like, hey man, like, you know, can I reach out? Like, you know, can I get your number? Like, man, email me, bro. Email me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to talk to him, right? Like, shoot me an email, bro. But if you give me your number, like, because you know you're going to see that call or text message come across.
Carter, what you got? So you've been all in on digital for what, 18 months now, roughly, give or take?
Yeah.
So
my graduate degree.
I know you got something for us, man. What's your tool? Give us something that I might not even know that you love right now. Something that you gonna tell me like next week.
So like I wrote this down because I knew you all weren't gonna take this one, but Zapier is one of the best applications that you can use if you're a digital entrepreneur. So I like the analogy, like Zapier is like the connector of all platforms, right? So all these platforms they were built on their own. Zapier is like, hey, bro, I want y'all to come together and work intertwined so the business owner doesn't have to do anything, right? So for instance, if you come into my funnel and give me your email address is now added to my email software. Then my email software automatically knows to trigger an email to go out to you that same hour, right? If you don't open it, it knows to send you another one. Same thing with text. So I'm taking my landing page, connecting it with my text software or email software, connecting it with my product. So if you purchase my product, I don't have to do anything. It zaps, tells my product to email it to you. And then once you get the first product, I'm gonna text you and say, hey, you should also get the second product, right? So basically it brings everything together so you can remove yourself and go sip Mai Tais on your yacht on a Tuesday while everything is running together. So Zapier, guys, again, it's an absolute must. If you want to get that automation and scalability piece of the DARES model together, you have to have Zapier because it's going to keep all your applications working together.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to say too, though, because we're, evolving, in what we do. And I think we try to be as tactical as possible to give people the game. However, I know when you're just getting started, hearing this kind of stuff can feel overwhelming. It can be like, oh my gosh, it's like there's and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So here's what we're going to do. And it's something I did for Carter a while ago. And, it works, right? It's like at the end of the day, it's like start where you are, do what you can, use what you have, right? So maybe you don't have an email, even though it's easy, you don't have an email opt-in system yet, but you want to start to drum up leads for whatever it is you're about to sell, right? When you don't want to get lost in technology or you don't want to get lost in the sauce, right? What you can do on your stories is you can say, hey, I'm about to launch this guide, this book, this course, this program. Or I'm thinking about creating it, right? Is a better way to say it. And if you're interested and want to know about when if I decide to create it, just DM me your email. Now, why is that powerful? Because you got to think about it. You're competing for attention on social media. And if someone has to go out of your stories, go to click something, then go to your bio, then click the link in your bio, then put some information on the form, at each click, you're losing people. right? So in the beginning, right, it actually can just help you out to build up your list by just being guerrilla, right? Just saying, hey, I'm about to drop this. Then get those manual emails, get those manual numbers in the beginning, right? Like now, again, a lot can happen in a year. Carter's very, very far removed from those days, but
I did it though.
Did it, right? You know what I'm saying? And we was excited. He's like, yo, bro, I got like 93 emails or whatever, right? And so like, listen, like start where you are. Don't let technology and all this stuff, be a barrier to entry. I know, Jacqueline, you've used Gumroad for like some of your guys. Gumroad is a really easy platform because it's like landing page and checkout all in one, right? So it's like, don't let technology be a barrier to entry. If you're listening to this, we're not sharing this information to sound like gurus, right? We're sharing this information so that you can listen to this episode and take a gem away and get started after the episode. So don't say, well, I don't have ClickFunnels or I can't afford ClickFunnels right now. I can't afford a text messaging software. I can't. Gumroad then.
Yeah, we all started with the lowest cost to entry. And then as we made money, we reinvested that money into these softwares.
Right. So start where you are, use what you can, do what you have. No, wait. Do what you know what I'm trying to say. Do what you can, do what you can, start where you are, use what you have. All right. So guys, that's a few systems. We talked about the DARES model. And we talked about this once before, but it's just so easy and it's a layup. And one of the things we had in our notes was to like creating your first digital product. One of the first easy digital products to create is an ebook, right? A course might seem a little daunting, right? You got videos, you got guides, you got modules. It can seem a little bit much. Well, not the courses people creating today, but that's another story for another day. But creating a course like we think about courses can be a little bit of lift. But an ebook though, you can do it right now. So I know all of us have created ebooks in the past. Carter, I know you have Jacqueline, you probably have peer review to this now as well, but a really like straightforward, like easy way from zero to ebook in like 3 days.
Hop in the community and grab the gems.
Oh yeah, you not trying to give away that for
too much sauce. She said the free sauce bottle just ran out. She said the free sauce bottle just ran out.
I mean, we let y'all in the community for free. Come on now.
Let's give it to them. Let's give it. It's 90 seconds. They're gonna have to come back and get the rest of it anyway. Go ahead and give it to them. 90 seconds, Carter. Ebook from zero to ebook in 3 days.
Okay, so first, guys, don't guess what your people want, right? Ask them what they want. So go on your Instagram story, go on your social media, say, hey guys, what's your biggest challenge with X? If you're a barber, is cutting your own hair. If you're, tax guy, is like, what's saving on taxes, investing, getting started, whatever. So you ask your audience what they want, right? You take the top 5 to 7 answers. Those are the chapters to your ebook, right? You take those 5 to 7 chapters. You now can write the ebook yourself. Or I recommend doing it the lazy way, which is using an app called Otter to record the ebook into the app, which will then the app will transcribe it for you, right? Once that you get that transcription, you can have people on Fiverr clean it up. You can have a formatter on Fiverr format it, and then you can have a graphic design person on Fiverr design the cover and the pages, all for less than $75 per person, right? So now you have your chapters, you now have the content, now you have it cleaned up, formatted, and designed. Now you're ready to sell. So now you can have that guerrilla marketing strategy where you get emails for people who want early access. And then once you have it done, you can now email them and say, hey, ebook is done. I want to give you a special 50% discount because you gave me your insight, and now you have sales, which you can now use that money to reinvest into the softwares that we previously spoke about. Was that 90 seconds?
90 seconds, baby. And good. If you want to know how to actually sell that thing, then you got to hop in the community.
Exactly. I can give away that sauce.
All right, cool, man. Well, guys, this was phenomenal. It was good catching up with you guys. It's the first episode of the year, and we're super excited, guys. So leave those reviews. If you got questions, here's what I'll do. If you have a question and you send it to podcast@melaninmoney.com about anything we talked about today, or questions about anything that you think we can provide value on, we will answer that on the podcast, but only if you send it to us via email at podcast@melaninmoney.com. And you get bonus points. You get moved to the top of the line if you send it in video. That's first priority. If you send an audio message, that's second priority. And if you send written, that's third, right? So figure it out. Y'all are smart. Right? You can use an audio thing on your iPhone. You can do a video on your iPhone, and you can write in the body of the email. So let's not overcomplicate it. But if you do either one of those 3 options, we will answer your question on the podcast. We're just going to prioritize video, then audio, then written. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. please share this episode with 5 friends, leave a 5-star review, right? And sign up for the club so you can hang out with us all the time, right? Who wouldn't want to hang out with us like all the time? Like,
I would.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
so
happy here.
Sign up for the club. It's in the show notes. And for now, we were running a $1 trial to get into the community. And if you don't like it, leave. But it's a $1 trial, like to figure out what's going on in the club. You know what I'm saying? So, peace.